Yo, what's up? Part 2 of this video. We have our tail lights complete. Check this out. Bam! This is your final work. You're gonna have angel eyes. It's gonna be blacked out and it's gonna be resealed. We went from this to this. If I can do something like this, so can you guys. But if you can't, hit me up. I'd love to do this project for you. Message me below or Instagram, email, whatever it is. Let's get this video started. If you look at the lens, it is disastrous. There's a lot of debris, there's a lot of the chrome that went inside. We're just gonna take some Windex and spray it all over the place and then wipe it down. We're gonna try and remove every debris that we can. Yep, moron downstairs people with the fire alarm. Like, they don't even know how to cook. Next thing you wanna take sandpaper and smooth down the edges. We do this so we have a flatter surface to bond into with our silicone at the very end when we reassemble everything. You also want to do the same thing on this panel as well. Smooth down all the edges. After the sanding's done, you can wash this, which we'll do at a later step. Everything that you see here that is chrome is going to get sanded down. We're going to use the back of a sponge as a scuff pad and sand down the entire surface. We're going to start out with the biggest piece and use the back of the sponge. You're going to see by the end of this, there's going to be no reflective surface. It's going to be a matte finish just like this over here. If you want, you can use sandpaper, which does a similar job as well. I'm using 600 over here. What I like about the sponge is that it's a flat surface, so it's evenly distributed, whatever pressure you apply. Put the sanding paper around the sponge, and then apply it that way. I think this is a much better method. As you can see, everything is smooth, and it's much more dull. The luster is gone, there's no reflectiveness from the chrome. Next, we move on to this thing. Do the whole same routine. So anywhere that's reflective here. Don't forget the inside of this piece. Okay, and this is done. And then we have our small piece here. In this tutorial, no chrome is safe. Next we have our signal and reverse light housing. To get to the back of the panel, you're just gonna have to like literally brush it in. Okay, and this is done. This is our final chrome piece that we are going to buff and sand down. Whew. Your hand is so tired after this, man. It smells like fish. It's weird. It's like those cheap markers that you buy at like Chinatown or whatever. Alright, and this is finally done. Okay, we're done with this step. Our chrome trims have been sanded down. After you sand, we're going to wipe the surface clean with some alcohol. All this is doing is just taking away any grease, any bacteria, fingerprints, oils away from the surface. Okay, and we're done. Alright, so we made it to the painting step. I'm going to use Tremclad, which is a fast drying, high temperature heat enamel. Let's get this started. Check that out, that looks nice already. We're going to be painting this one next. Okay, this is looking pretty solid. Okay, piece number 3. Alright. Nice and blacked out. Alright, next piece. Signal lights and reverse. That is looking beautiful. Alright, so the final piece, it's a little difficult to hold. I'm holding it by 2 chopsticks, so hopefully it doesn't snap off, but yeah man, let's get this started. Do I ever recommend to paint like this? Hell no. That's looking real nice. Oh shit! Remind me not to do that again. Man, that was pretty bad. But I decided to go ahead and do a second layer, so come check this out. Jeez, chrome delete. These are nice and blacked out. Now, we can finally go ahead and install the angel eye, so get ready. So we're gonna start off with the smaller shroud. Now this shroud comes with a couple of reflective lens pieces and diffusers. We're not gonna use that. What I'm gonna use instead is this angel eyes, that's 60mm, a couple of wires that come with it, and a zip tie. So there's a hole at the very back. I'm gonna feed these 2 wires, the positive and negative, through it, and on the other side, we pull them. In this step, we're going to be soldering. The white goes to the negative, and the blue goes to the positive. And now the wires are on solid. So this is the bottom here. Right across it, right here, we're going to drill a hole. Alright, who is knocking? Alright, so we pull the wires. The hole is right on top of the angel eye. We got a hole through here to have a zip tie pass through not once but twice. Insert the zip tie, loop it around the ring, and then pull out the tie. So you got these two out. This was a pain in the ass. Now that we have one area zip tied, we can also tie just up here. And that's it. That's how you mount your angel eye on. Now to see if this is working or not. Alright, so now we're on to the bigger lens. We're going to be using a 100mm size halo angel eye. And it's going to be the same process. We have a hole right in the back that's usually for the diffuser. We're going to take our wire and we're going to feed it through the back over here. There's one. We're just going to pull it. We're going to time to solder these two wires. So when you have the halos in, you're going to notice there's two wires that are exposed. If you're really keen on aesthetics, you can take a black marker and just color in the wires. I'm going to drill right here on the opposite side of our diffuser hole. So we got the hole made right over here. Okay, so with the halo inside, the hole is above our angel. So I can easily just slip a zip tie right here. So I'm going to have to drill a second hole because there is no clearance for the zip tie to go in between the halo and against the shell. So the first hole was drilled right up here. The second hole, I'm going to put it right there. And this is just basically going to loop from here to here. Alright, so with the second hole mounted on the back over here, slide this in here, put this here. Now I can take my zip tie from the bottom hole and then bring it up and loop it in to the top hole. I can tie them together. Take my scissor, cut that off. Okay, that's mounted. Now we just gotta get the bottom part mounted. I'm gonna zip it down here. We're gonna cut that. And that's it. So let's reassemble pieces back on. We're gonna put the small piece back on here. Now we're gonna screw it on. That's been nicely placed on. Then we have a red lens, which we will just be putting. That looks so wicked right now. That looks a lot better with the red lens on. Alright, so we are going to be reassembling the pieces now, so we're going to start off with a small one here. Okay, so next is our last piece. Alright, so we're going to put on this piece. There you go. Okay, and then we have our last piece. Slide this on here. Now that we have everything placed, we're going to start screwing everything back in. And this is our blacked out trim. Alright, time to mount it back on. So we slide that on. Okay, that sounds better. Damn, that looks so much better. So you want to take your wires and bunch them up into a zip tie. So on the back of this, there's a small slot right over here. We're going to take these 4 wires and put it through the slot like so. Get this lined up. Alright, so once you have the wires out here, we are going to screw down. We're going to put back our wiring harness, which goes in there. These wires, pretty long right now. Cutters, and there you go. Next, what you want to do is start stripping wires. You're going to take off the sleeve like that, and you're going to have exposed wire. So this is what we do. You take your blues, like this, just twist them on. Do the same thing for your whites. You combine them. What you see here are T-tap connectors. The way these guys work, you basically splice into the wire and clamp it down. So this thing has teeth inside, right? We're gonna put the wire right in between. In order to close that shut, take a plier and you clamp it. Now it's a T-shape, so we have this bridge and you have something coming inside. Our negative wire, which is this black one, put the wire in between the teeth, clamp it down, and these two are ready. Alright, so I added some soldering compound or whatever that's called. That should give a better bond, so let's see, we'll put this in. And all you're gonna do is crimp it on. Okay, so the blue is nicely on. Now we're gonna do the white. Crush it on. The blue positive wire attaches to the pink running light wire, and the white negative wire attaches to the ground black wire. So I did a quick little thing and put a zip tie over here. Next you want to put your gasket on. So change of plans, I decided to add the reflectors back on for safety reasons so people can see my car parked at nighttime. And now to test it on. So this step we're going to be using a caulking gun. I'm using Dynaflex 230. I'm going to use this to seal up all our gaps. So we're going to put a single bead around the entire surface of our taillight. Once you do that, we're going to take our finger and lightly even out the surface. We have this trim piece. While this is hardening, it's best to screw this on right now. So we're gonna let this cure for 24 hours. And here is our taillights installed. This is the before and the after. And if you like what you see, consider subscribing. I'd like to thank Chris from Flatride who gave me the tools and confidence to do something like this for you guys.